Hi class, this is Professor Nugent. I just wanted to give you um, sort of a wrap up for the end of week one. Now, there's a couple questions too that some students have brought up either during the office hours or direct emails, so I just want to clear things up. The first thing is with the quiz. Um, I did mention that when quiz one closes, the next one will open. What I mean by that is not when you finish quiz one, because at any point you can go in and submit your quiz one. And remember that when you're working on quiz one, you can save your answers at any time. So you could open it up, print out the questions, answer a few questions, and save it and come back to it at any time. When you are finished, you have to click save and submit. And that is when the assignment for you, you're telling me you're done, finished working on it, and it's over. Now, the next quiz will open up The next quiz will open up. So this quiz is closing on Sunday, July 15th. I'll open up quiz 3 and 4 on Sunday, July 15th as well. So once the due date for quiz 1 is come and gone, the next quiz will be ready for you to work on. Okay, just to clear that up. Now, remember also that with the simulation, if you choose to work on the simulation, I'm going to have the round process every Friday, which is this Friday coming up on July 13th at 11:30 p.m. And if you choose to do the simulation, if you read the fine print here, I want you to get a perfect score, to get all 15 points, you just need to achieve 1,800 overview points. I wanted to say that a lot of teams do this by round 3 or 4. At least 80 to 90% of teams can get this done if they put the time in. They read this, they read over the student manual, they do a few practice rounds. However, at any time up until round 3, if you feel that the simulation is not working well for you, and when round 3 completes, if you want to drop out of the simulation project, just send me an email. I'll let you drop out of the simulation project, and then you could switch over to the organization culture profile paper. So I'll give you that option if you choose. Now, if you do score less than 1,800 points, say you score 1,600 points, I'm going to deduct 1 point for every 100 points under the 1,800 you are. So if you score only 300 points, which is next to impossible, you would get a 0 for the assignment. If you score 1,600 points, you get a 15 for this. You get a 13 for the assignment. Okay. So that's all I want to say about the simulation. Now, in the simulation, remember that in our class, you have to choose a team. When we have all these companies here, we only have but maybe 9 or so companies. Some students have already submitted and completed their rounds. For you, if you don't have a company yet, for example, you're going to have to, when you log in, you're going to have to click on, I'll just show you here. When you log in, you have to click on classroom competition. When you click on the classroom competition, a screen will come up and you're going to have to press the button that says create new team. Maybe at the top or bottom of the list, but you have to actually physically create the new team, name your company. It's like each person works in the company of one, and that's how you get started with the classroom competition. The individual practice is what is not. I'm not looking for you to complete 5 rounds of the individual practice. You're going to compete against each other in the classroom competition, and every Friday I'll advance it, and you can see how you've performed against classmates. So I just kind of wanted to make that point clear on the simulation. Okay. Now, for those of you who are working on the paper instead of the simulation, remember that this class goes faster than you think. So you should start collecting your data and selecting your company and start working on this assignment. Try to get a little bit done each week because you don't want to wait to the last week. It's just not going to produce a good paper that way. And also remember, everybody is going to be working on the CEO profile report. This is an assignment everyone is going to do. So for everybody, you want to start thinking about this paper and start working on it ahead of time. Okay, let's talk about the discussion boards. Now, with the discussion boards, if we look at posting the article for week 1, this is what I like to see. Everybody creates their own thread and you post your article. I do read all the articles. I do comment on some of them, maybe not all of them. And this is where you would create a new thread by clicking, create a thread. And then after you've submitted your thread, you want to click and read the other students' threads and then post a reply to at least two. You can post more than two replies. It's okay if you want to do 2 or 3 or 4. The more the merrier. So that is fine. Now, although when you create a thread, you do have the responsibility of going back into your thread and seeing who replied to you. And in this thread, we have 2 replies from Marissa. And what I want you to do is read over the people who replied to you. They may have a question, or you may want to follow up with a comment. So that's what keeps the conversation discussion going, and this is sort of to simulate what we have in the classroom environment. Now, don't worry if now I had also one other thing. We're not going to post one article every week. You're only going to post an article, like here's post article 1, and then in post article 2 comes in week 3. So you're not going to be posting a new article every week. I had originally had a line in here saying I expect an article every week. I had originally thought of doing that, but then decided that that's not necessary. So with the discussion boards, just follow. I put the due dates, discussion board due dates, and I keep them in chronological order. So just follow how I list them. You're never going to have to create a new forum. I will create the forums. And for example, for next week, I want you to complete some self-assessments and talk about them as one discussion area. And then there's another discussion area. I have discussion question 2 listed for next week. And with the discussion questions, I do want you to also create a thread when you answer the discussion questions. Don't reply to someone else's thread as your answer. And I've seen some of that this week with this week's discussion question 1, where I had made a post just to show you how to create a thread, and then people were just replying to my post with their answer. Now, for week 1, that's fine. I'm going to go in here and see what everyone did and read over your responses, and you don't have to worry about it. But moving forward, create a new thread when you answer my discussion question, and then use the reply only when you're replying to someone else's discussion questions, just to keep it a little bit cleaner for me. And you can see over here, I get an acknowledgement of how many posts there were, and then I get an acknowledgement of the total participants. So usually towards the end of the week, I'll go in and read all the posts, maybe leave some comments, and look things over, and then keep track of, make sure everyone participated. And I do get a report from Blackboard that helps put your names in a list of who participated. But of course, I have to look over and see the quality of your participation. So this is a key aspect of the class, so don't shortchange it. All right, so other than that, everything looks to be going very well for week 1. And just remember, I will send out an email about week 2 soon. And just remember to follow on these under announcements. I did change the Dilbert cartoon to keep it fresh. But under announcements, just follow into week 2. And I list the class schedule for week 2. So week 2, we're going to move into chapter 3 and 4. I already posted the 2 lectures. And you're going to answer this week's discussion questions. So we're on set for week 4. I'm working on week 3 videos now, and I'll have the links up soon. And that's it. I think we're all good. Office hours went well on Wednesday. Remember, you only have to drop by. It's not mandatory. It's not required, but you drop by as you feel needed. And if for students who can't make my online office hours, that's fine. You can always email me, which some students have done. And I think we have a very successful start to the week, and I look forward to week 2. Take care.